Did you know that the holiest Islamic shrine today, revered by millions around the world, was once a bustling center of worship for 360 different gods? The Kaaba, now the heart of Islamic faith, was once a polytheistic sanctuary where diverse deities were honored. The dramatic transformation of this sacred site into a central symbol of Islam offers a fascinating glimpse into how the Middle East evolved from a region of religious diversity into a predominantly Muslim area. This documentary delves into this incredible journey, exploring the historical, political, and religious changes that reshaped Arabia. The Arabian Peninsula before Islam, around 576 AD, a few decades before the birth of Islam, the Arabian Peninsula was a patchwork of various tribes and religious practices. Christianity and Zoroastrianism were present on the peripheries, but the interior of Arabia was largely governed by a multitude of fragmented tribes, each with its unique customs and beliefs. Among these tribes were the Bedouins, known for their distinct and sometimes harsh traditions. For instance, when a Bedouin father passed away, his sons would inherit not only his possessions, but also his wives. The term sheikh, which signifies a leader in many modern Arab cultures, likely originated from these early Bedouin leaders. Another disturbing practice was the burial of newborn daughters alive, believed to protect them from capture or harm in a society marked by frequent tribal conflicts. The Kaaba, now considered the holiest site in Islam, was originally a focal point for pagan worship. The pre-Islamic Kaaba housed 360 idols representing a variety of gods worshipped by different Arabian tribes. Among these idols were also representations of Allah, Jesus, and Mother Mary, showcasing a syncretism that existed before the advent of Islam. This information, highlighted in Hadiths and recorded by Greek historian Diodorus Siculus, underscores the Kaaba's significant role even before it became central to Islamic worship. The rise of the Quraysh tribe. In the 4th century AD, the Quraysh tribe, who were also idolaters, took control of Mecca. During this period, it was common for tribes to raid each other's caravans, leading to widespread instability and hampering urban development. However, under the Quraysh leadership, Mecca transformed into a flourishing city and a no-war zone, thanks to their strategic alliances with neighboring empires, including the Byzantine Empire. The Quraysh introduced the no-war period, a unique time when all Arabian tribes would gather at the Kaaba during a specific month to drink the sacred water of the Zamzam well, symbolizing unity and peace among the tribes. This ritual was reminiscent of the modern-day month of Ramadan. The security of caravan routes was a significant issue during this era. A contract for caravan protection was highly coveted, and disputes over these contracts could lead to conflict. In 598 AD, a war broke out between the Banu Bakr tribe and the Hashim tribe, which included Prophet Muhammad. This conflict was fueled by competition over the lucrative caravan security contract. At the age of 15, Muhammad fought in this battle under the leadership of his uncle, Abu Talib. Prophet Muhammad's early life and mission. A decade after this conflict, Prophet Muhammad married Khadijah, a wealthy and influential widow, which elevated his status in Mecca. About 20 years later, Muhammad began receiving divine revelations. Seeking solitude, he retreated to Mount Hira, where he encountered a divine presence and was commissioned to spread the message of Islam. His initial followers were his wife Khadijah, his family, and a few close friends. The growing opposition in Mecca. As Muhammad began preaching Islam, he attracted a following from various segments of Meccan society, including young men from wealthy families, marginalized individuals, and vulnerable foreigners. The Quraysh, who were the ruling tribe and religious authorities in Mecca, viewed Islam as a threat to their power and influence. They attempted to neutralize this threat by offering Muhammad a prestigious position in a marriage alliance, but he refused and continued his mission. This defiance angered the Quraysh, leading to increased persecution of Muhammad's followers and attempts on his life. Despite the threats, Muhammad was protected by his uncle Abu Talib. However, the death of Abu Talib and Muhammad's wife Khadijah in 619 AD left him vulnerable, prompting him to flee Mecca. During this tumultuous period, Muhammad received an invitation from the tribes of Yathrib, later Medina, to help mediate their internal conflicts. The tribes of Medina sought to establish a new religious center, and they saw Muhammad as the key to achieving this goal. Muhammad and his followers migrated to Medina, where they successfully brokered peace among the 8 tribes through the Constitution of Medina. This agreement not only established harmony within the city, but also set a foundation for the protection of Muhammad and his followers. Despite the peace in Medina, skirmishes continued with the Quraysh. In 624 AD, a pivotal battle took place in the Valley of Badr, resulting in a significant victory for the Muslims. This victory paved the way for the eventual conquest of Mecca in 630 AD, marking the establishment of the first Islamic state in Arabia. Prophet Muhammad passed away in 632 AD, just 2 years after the conquest of Mecca. His death led to uncertainty and unrest among the newly converted Muslims, as he had not designated a successor. Abu Bakr, Muhammad's father-in-law, stepped in to stabilize the situation. He took decisive action to prevent communities from abandoning Islam and restored order. His leadership marked the beginning of the Rashidun Caliphate, with his successors continuing the expansion of Islam across Arabia. As Islam became firmly established in the Arabian Peninsula, religious uniformity was enforced through various policies. One hadith from Prophet Muhammad highlights the intent to expel non-Muslims from the region. "I will expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and will not leave any but Muslim." Sahih Muslim 1767a, Book 32, Hadith 75. This hadith reflects the goal of preserving the Islamic identity of the region. Following Muhammad's death, the early caliphs played crucial roles in implementing these policies. Abu Bakr, 632 to 634 CE, faced the challenge of unifying the Arabian Peninsula after Muhammad's death. He dealt with dissenting tribes through the Ridda Wars, which were critical in consolidating the Muslim state. Umar ibn al-Khattab, 634 to 644 CE, continued the policy of expelling non-Muslims. He famously declared, "If I live, insha'Allah, I shall certainly expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula." Musnad Ahmad 215. Umar's actions included military campaigns and administrative measures to reinforce Islamic governance and limit non-Muslim presence. Uthman ibn Affan, 644 to 656 CE, contributed to religious consolidation by compiling the Quran, standardizing Islamic texts and practices across expanding Muslim territories. Ali ibn Abi Talib, 656 to 661 CE, maintained religious policies during the turbulent period of the First Fitna, striving to uphold Islamic principles amidst internal conflicts. The early Islamic state enforced religious uniformity through military campaigns, administrative restrictions, and social policies. Non-Muslim tribes were either expelled or converted. Measures included banning the construction of non-Muslim religious structures and imposing taxes such as the jizya on non-Muslims. These policies encouraged conversion and promoted religious homogeneity in the Arabian Peninsula. The formation of Saudi Arabia in 1932 by Abdulaziz Ibn Saud continued the tradition of religious uniformity. The state was founded on Wahhabism, a strict interpretation of Islam that emphasizes maintaining religious purity and rejecting innovations. This ideology heavily influenced Saudi Arabia's legal and social frameworks. Saudi Arabia's legal system, based on Sharia, Islamic law, enforces religious uniformity. Public practice of non-Islamic religions is prohibited, and social policies promote Islamic values. Despite its historical and religious policies, Saudi Arabia faces criticism regarding human rights, particularly concerning religious freedoms. The country's laws on apostasy, which can result in the death penalty for renouncing Islam, reflects strict enforcement of religious laws. This has raised concerns about religious freedom and human rights standards. Recent reforms in Saudi Arabia, aimed at modernizing its economy and society, have not fully addressed issues related to religious freedom. The balance between upholding Islamic principles and adhering to contemporary human rights norms remains a contentious issue. The journey of Saudi Arabia from a land of diverse gods and tribal conflicts to a unified Muslim state is a testament to the profound impact of religious and political transformations. The actions of early Islamic leaders in the establishment of the Saudi state have shaped the religious landscape of the region. However, ongoing debates about human rights and religious freedoms highlight the complex interplay between historical policies and modern values. As Saudi Arabia continues to navigate its path, the legacy of its historical policies and contemporary challenges remains central to its identity.